Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. Um, I just thought I'd do a bit of a weekly update on some of my reading because I missed Friday reads. I finished a few books this week. I finished, first of all, I spoke briefly about this one before, The Hollow Crown by Dan Jones. It's his sort of narrative history of the War for the Roses and the rise of the Tudors. Um, this is quite an like volatile period in English history, so it's nice just to read a narrative of it without going into too much depth. Basically, the the the, the crown was uh, switching places quite often during this time, and there's a lot of beheadings going on. And if you didn't behead someone, they would always come back and get you. So the beheadings were always sort of justified. Um, but yeah, lots of sort of weak kings not being able to hold on to the crown and everyone rebelling at the drop of a hat. But Dan Jones is he's not going to set your hair on fire or anything. He's just a good narrative historian. If you don't know a lot about that era, he's a good beginning sort of read, and then you want to go more in depth if you want to learn more. Um, so yeah, I've always enjoyed all Dan Jones's book. I do want to pick up his. He's done a non-fiction, not a non-fiction, a fiction even, called Essex Dogs. That's meant to be really good. So I do want to pick that up at some point. I've got it on Kindle, so it'd be interesting to um, see how he does with fiction. And plus, I'm from Essex, so it would be entertaining to learn about. Well, to hear about some dodgy Essex fellas. Um, the next book I read was sort of a Dune on the Range one. I don't know if the plains from Nebraska count as the West. It's in the middle, isn't it? My geography is not my strong point, but um, it's not cowboys as well. So it was my Antonia by Willa Cather, and this is my first experience with Willa Cather, and yeah, I really loved it. I can see why some people might not like her because it's almost it's not one long cohesive thing. It's like little portraits of little snippets. Like you'll be learning about the main characters, and then it will just pop off and do a little chapter about a random person in their town. But she's such a good writer. Like uh, I wish I had it on Kindle. I got it from the library, so I don't know if you can save bits from the library app, but I would be sort of saving a lot of sentences from her. This book follows a sort of sort of like a Gatsby sort of thing where the narrator's not really the main character. He's called Jim Burden, and you join him as he's a child, and he's moving. His parents had died, or his grandparents, I can't remember, and he's moving um, to Nebraska, and he meets um, a Bohemian family on the same doing the same journey as him, and it's basically the story of his life from childhood to adulthood, and his relationship with this girl Antonia, who is his neighbor and um, a Bohemian immigrant who can speak a little bit of English, so she learns English from Jim, and it's just sort of like it is very Great Gatsby in that it's sort of a portrait of is it Gatsby I'm thinking of? It's almost Breakfast at Tiffany's as well. It's like it's this portrait of a a, a very um, sort of vivid character, but from the perspective of this neighbor, and he's sort of in love with her, but they're never really in a relationship, um, and yeah, I really did love it though. It was great writing. I'll definitely pick up some more of her books. Um, yeah, and I feel like it was quite autobiographical as well because she moved out there when she was a kid as well. Um, After that, I picked up Daphne du Maurier's Jamaica Inn. I've been meaning to read this one for a little while because I was in Cornwall recently and the real Jamaica Inn's still there. Um, and I was in Bodmin, which is where most of this book is set. And I have to say, it's a very different portrait to the sort of sunny beaches and drinking pints of beer in beer gardens that I experienced. This is very dark from the very beginning. Um, the main characters making a journey in a carriage, and the rain's whipping against the window, and uh, she goes to her mother dies as well, so quite similar to my Antonia, and she's moving to Cornwall um, to live with her aunt, who she's only met once when she was a kid, and basically her uncle is an absolute terror, and he runs sort of like a smuggling ring from Jamaica Inn. No, they have no guests there apart from these dodgy fellas who turn up to the pub every now and then to sort of plan their dastardly deeds. Um, but yeah, if you've ever read Du Maurier before, she's very sort of dark, gothic, sort of. I think Hitchcock made a movie out of this one as well as Rebecca. I didn't like it quite as much as Rebecca, but it was good fun, and you're always in safe hands with Du Maurier. It's good. You're going to get a good sort of entertaining story. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. I want to read My Cousin Rachel too. I haven't read that one yet. I've got a couple of her books lying around, and I've got a biography of her that I need to read as well. That's it for everything I've finished. I'm now on True Grit. This is a real June on the Range classic. Um, yeah, I thought I would love this because the both the movies are so good and the dialogue is so good in the movies. You know, it must come straight from the book, and it basically is like watching the Coen Brothers film, reading this, which is a lot of fun. So I'm enjoying this, and I'll probably finish this tonight. And yeah, I don't know what I'll crack on with next. Maybe another Western, maybe a Star Trek. I haven't read a Star Trek in a few books, but yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books and enjoyed them, or if you've got any recommendations from other books from these authors. Have a good day, BookTube. Bye bye.